like never happened.
We don't need to start yet. I was just giving a 3-minute warning and we'll get going. We're just going to allow people to move in with their coffee as we get set up. All right, welcome back, everybody. I hope, oh my, who is this? Who's the woohoo? I want some woohoos. Yes, we are moving into the afternoon. Oh, I'm a little sleepy time. I hope you got coffee because we're talking about the future and not just any future, the future of CASC. All right, all of us. Yes, let's get the energy. Yes. I really needed that. So thanks so much for coming in. I'm hoping people are going to trickle in, but it's okay because all of you are going to be ambassadors to share what you learned and tell folks to be like, hey, go talk to the CASC team, okay? That's going to be your secret mission after this session. So thanks for joining. My name is Marianne Mader, so I'm the CEO of the Canadian Association of Science Centres. Super excited to share what's up, what's coming down for the next few years, I'll say. I'm joined today by Amanda Frucci and Magda Bima, and they're going to share kind of the details of this exciting future to come. Okay, I'm going to start off with some basics. Who are we? Who are we? Who is CASC? This is a map that we've used in actually some of our funding proposals. The red dots represent our member locations. These are a lot of the science centers, museums. You know we also have outreach organizations that are part of CASC. The blue dots represent the reach. You can see we're reaching from coast to coast to coast. And I can tell you, this map is outdated. This map was created like a year ago. We've had like 15 new members just this year. Yeah, that's right. So we're approaching around, I love this crowd. We're approaching about 90 members right now for the association in total. So that's great news. This is what we're about, okay? So our vision, if you didn't know, is about basically that Canada has a thriving science and innovation culture. No big deal, right? Like, think big. All of Canada, what does that mean? I'm going to talk about in that next slide. How do we do it, though? Our mission is we do that by connecting all of you, a national science engagement community that cultivates a joy of learning by making STEM approachable, accessible, and relevant. That joy of learning piece, that was a tweak. This past year, we just went into strategic plan. I'm going to talk about the new plan that's being released now. That joy of learning was really important to us. We realized we talked a lot about the importance of STEM education. We're like, where's the fun? This is a community of fun and joy, so we wanted that built into the mission statement. This network, that connection piece, we're not in isolation. You know, we're joined by Chris Nelson, the CEO of Aztec, right? Yeah, that's right. And I don't know if Tammy Barrett is in the room, but she's the executive director of the Giant Screen Cinema Association. They're here joining us because we're part of this larger ecosystem of associations, and not just the ones that are directly our sector. We intersect with the research ecosystem, with public health, with lots of these broader communities that make up the Canadian science and innovation ecosystem. And that's an important piece. This connection is core to who CASC is. This is what we mean. This is when we're talking about a thriving science and innovation culture, these are the qualities. When we think of the work that you all do, what is the impact of that work? You're fostering critical thinking. You're cultivating the joy of learning. You are requiring diverse participation and engaging citizens in this work. You're promoting evidence-based decision-making. The result is having a skilled workforce. The result is having a public that's choosing healthy living habits and that's taking action on global challenges. This is what it means. This is what we're about. This is why we're doing the work that we're doing. And as an association, it's important that we're doing this collectively. We're supporting each other. We could support you individually as organizations, but how are we going to get here unless we're learning and we're cultivating that learning across organizations and within the broader ecosystem? This is what we're about. So I'm here to tell you that the future is bright for CASC. You may have seen we had a press release before Christmas. We had very exciting news. CASC was selected as one of 24 successful recipients in the inaugural Strategic Science Fund. This is a fund that is a new funding kind of program developed by Industry, Science, Economic Development, ISED, the federal department. We're in the kind of final steps of finalizing that agreement, but I can speak in broad strokes about what this funding means for us and all of you as part of CASC. This is a big deal. I would say before this funding announcement, it wasn't clear where public science engagement fit in Canada, federally. Do we fit in heritage? Are we trying to wiggle our way into how we fund research? We are aligned with ISED. They care. They created this program. Part of it is about science culture. And that's how we fit into this broader funding program. About 20 of the organizations are research institutes that are non-universities. And then there's a few organizations that are really doing the public engagement work. This is a great place to be in. It's also a great place to be in because this work is going to fund the work that we envisioned for our next strategic plan. So we now have a 2024-2026 strategic plan. If you want the sneak peek, there's hard copies at our booth. We will certainly be sharing it digitally in the next little while to all of the network. But I'm going to talk through kind of our 5 main pillars of that strategic plan. And again, this is now in the broader kind of funding landscape where we're funded federally by the government. So here we go. Here's our 5 core key areas. STEM equity. So advancing diversity, inclusion, equity, and accessibility across the network. What does that mean? This is professional development opportunities for all of you. What does it also mean? We want to ensure that our events, what we're running, that they're inclusive and accessible, and we are always improving, and we love feedback. And we also want to recognize the work that's being done across the network in this area and celebrate it as we move forward. The second key area is truth and reconciliation, meaningfully embedding reconciliation in all aspects of CASC work. Whew, that's a big one. I don't know, folks who are in that kind of work, that deep dive, that takes time. We have an incredible collaborative relationship with Dr. Melanie Goodchild, who has a unique role with our organization. She's Anishinaabe, she's a systems changer in residence with us. She's not a contractor, she's not full-time staff, she's a scholar in systems change work, and she can experiment on us. We can, try out new ideas with her towards this larger goal of decolonizing STEM and STEAM education spaces. This is very exciting. That work started last year in residency. You may have seen some of the programs rolling out, and I think Amanda might speak to some of those. And it's going to continue in the years to come. So we have kind of this collaborative effort with Mullany over the next few years. We're very excited about that. The third area, you know about this one, collective social and environmental impact, stimulating cooperation to address global challenges. What does that look like? Gen Action Program for one, that's what it's looked like. Tackling misinformation, our Science at First initiative. You're going to hear Magda talk about the depth of the impact of that program. As we move forward in this next year of what we're calling internally our build year towards what is the next iterative cycle when we're designing our flow-through grants, how do we learn from the work we've done across that Gen Action funding opportunity, across micro grants we've done with misinformation. This is a really great year. You'll hear from Amanda. You're going to hear from us a lot this year. We really are looking into a deeper dive in understanding the membership and the needs of the membership, so when we're designing the next iteration, it fits. So we're very excited about that one. The last two strategic areas, advocacy towards a national public STEM engagement strategy. Again, no big deal, but guess what? It doesn't exist. In Canada, we do not have a federal strategy around public engagement. We need to be at the table, and it's not going to be just us, and it can't be just us at the table to get this kind of policy change. So this is where we work laterally across kind of our affiliate kind of organizations, the science policy group. I think the family, what we call the Strategic Science Fund family, will be a great opportunity towards this larger advocacy effort. We're really excited about this one. This is foundational because when the funding ends at Strategic Science Fund, we want to be established, as this is not optional. Public engagement is not optional. When the next pandemic comes around, we need to be prepared. And the government and Canada can access this resource, this community. So this is a big one. And the last one, it speaks internally to us as an organization. If we want to be able to do this work, we better be sustainable and resilient. We have some strategic objectives of being an employer of choice, and we really take that to heart. I would love you to chat with any of the CASC staff about what does that look like for us. We're a completely remote team, coast to coast, and we really try to support our staff in that. What does it mean to be environmentally and financially sustainable, to be efficient, to be secure, cybersecurity? We're remote, we're digital, everything. So this is the kind of core work we're also focusing on in the next few years. Whew. That's the big future of us. I'm going to hand it over. Oh, applause. I'm going to allow now Amanda and then Magda to kind of do the deeper dive of what does this look like through programs.
Thanks, Marianne. Thanks, everyone. I'm so delighted to be here for the first time in this new role of Director of Membership and Strategic Communications. I have had the pleasure of connecting with so many of you in the planning of this conference and in your membership applications and renewals and through our communities of practice, and I feel so welcome and I feel so excited about what's to come. It is clear to me that the members of CASC are just such a vibrant fabric that make up this community. The work that you do to spark that joy of learning, to connect science and society, to address truth, pause on truth and reconciliation. It's really the fuel to our fire. So before I dive in and tell you what's to come, I would love a big and loud and excited round of applause for you and the work that you do. Please, thank you. Awesome. Thank you. As Marianne mentioned, we're embarking on a very serious journey together, right? The strategic plan is set. The vision is clear. An engaged, thriving innovation and science culture across Canada. And the mission is clear. We need to grow this network, we need to connect this community, and we need to make the work that we all do a non-negotiable, right? This needs to be a must-have service for all of Canadians. And so how we do that is a really good question. I just really quickly want to break down three really important functions of CASC in doing this work. First and foremost, we are your biggest supporter, strengthening your capacity to reach your full potential and to advance your impact. And to do that, as Marianne mentioned, we provide professional development opportunities. We support research that will benefit the work that you do and the sector at large. We don't limit ourselves to who we serve, which I think is clear by the folks who are here and joining us. We do not limit ourselves to the size or types of public science engagement organizations, but rather we welcome everyone who's doing this work to join us. And we aim to do all of this in a way that respects the perspectives of your organizations and your local communities. I was saying to Sandy earlier that something about I feel so welcome in Saskatchewan. I feel like the local culture and community here in Saskatchewan is part of this conference just as much as the work that we're all doing. So that's really important to us. We are a connector. Can you guys hear me? Like, am I going in and out? Okay, cool. We are a connector, as Marianne mentioned, building ecosystems and strategic partnerships to connect science and society. Magda's going to talk a little bit more about that through Science Up First. And third, we are a loud and proud champion of our members. We are your biggest fans. We love to amplify the work that you do. We work hard to foster solidarity among our members and among the network and the community at large across Canada. And more directly, we build national initiatives that work towards systems change. Case in point, Gen Action and the support it's given to 30 CASC members over the course of the last couple of years to inspire youth to take climate action. So being a supporter and a connector and a champion of this network is so rewarding for all of us here at CASC, and we're ready to take it to the next level. So I want to talk a little bit about what's coming up and what that means for you. A couple of really awesome and important things. New infrastructure. As Marianne mentioned, we're a completely virtual organization internally, and we service membership from coast to coast to coast. To help make that better, do that work better, we've got a new website coming, powered by WordPress. I don't know if anybody here has worked with Wild Apricot, but we are saying good riddance to Wild Apricot, and we are very excited to have a new website with WordPress coming to you shortly. As well, in terms of infrastructure, we have a new AMS system that will be powered by GlueUp, AMS standing for Association Management System. For those of you who are already members and in our email list, you'll get an email soon saying that your contact information has been migrated over to GlueUp, and we're going to start to use this really awesome virtual platform that allows us not only to communicate with you better, provide resources in a more efficient and effective way, but also to connect you to one another. It's an amazing opportunity to connect to one another through virtual community without having it to be a conference or meetup or even the COPs. New data is coming, new membership surveys in the coming year. As Marianne mentioned, we really want to go deep into the membership. I appreciate we have done an amazing job, I think, of recruiting new members in the last 24 months or so. We added 15 new members last year, and I set a goal of 30 for this year, and we've already, I think we've welcomed 10 in this year so far. So surveys are coming at you so that we can really mine and understand what it is that you at the decision-making level, but also the folks that work within the organizations want and need from CASC. This one's my favorite. We are growing the team at CASC. I personally am very excited. Today, we posted our first job posting for a membership engagement lead. This person is going to be so important in supporting and coordinating professional development opportunities that advance truth and reconciliation and the DIEA priorities of the organization. This person is going to work in partnership with CASC's systems changer in residence, Dr. Melanie Goodchild, and our systems change labs. This person is going to help coordinate communities of practice, the ones that exist and the ones that are coming. This person is going to help with the conference and all of the programming we offer. So I put this out to you. If you know rock stars, I want rock stars, send them to me. I'm really, really excited to have this person join the team. And to come in the next month or so is a job posting for a communications officer. You know, we really want to be able to, well, really, I just don't want to write the newsletter anymore. No, just kidding. But we do need this support. Communicating with you efficiently and effectively in French and in English is a priority. And so, again, if you know rock stars, send them my way. And I think lastly is new ways of connecting. The communities of practice have been incredible. I mean, I personally, I know many of you are in them, and I think they're very valuable. Can I get a nod for those of you who are communities of practice? Folks, yes, they're great, and we want to do them more. Tomorrow morning during breakfast, you'll have an opportunity to meet some of the communities of practice that we already offer, and there will be an opportunity for you to provide some input or feedback of what else you would like to commune on in this way. So, yeah, so that's another really exciting update. Let me see. Yes, very important. So we're here for the rest of today and for tomorrow, and then again on September 26th, save the date, CASC's annual general meeting where we'll have a chance to meet again, hear more updates. Yeah. So thank you. Thank you for everything that you've contributed to this community so far. Thank you to everything that you're going to bring to this community in the future. And have a great rest of your conference. I'm going to hand it over to Magda, who's going to enlighten us on Science Up First.
Perfect. Thanks, Amanda. Awesome. Hi, everyone. I'm Magda Baima, and I'm the Director of Science Up First, which is an initiative of CASC. Many of you are already familiar with the initiative, but for those of you that are not, I'm going to give a brief overview, some updates, and then what I really want to do is share an exciting new campaign that we're planning for the fall. Okay. Oh, one more. There we go. Okay, so misinformation. This is a bad one. It's all around us, it's a big problem, and it really does affect all aspects of our lives. During the pandemic, we all saw firsthand the tangible impacts of misinformation. Over 3,000 deaths directly linked to misinformation and millions of healthcare dollars that were misspent. First, it's here to stay. The spread of misinformation, much like climate change, is really quickly becoming one of the most defining issues of our era. But it's not all doom and gloom. There is a bit of good news. Studies are showing that debunking and pre-bunking misinformation is effective. So providing credible, scientific information through culturally aligned messages aimed at improving people's ability to spot misinformation is truly an effective way to counter all the bad messages. And this is exactly why we launched Science Up First in January of 2021. So Science Up First, for those that don't know, is an innovative network-driven approach to addressing misinformation. We bring together researchers, experts, science communicators, organizations, community collaborators to create accessible and relevant science-backed content to debunk and pre-bunk misinformation. And initially, we started on social media platforms. And this included Instagram, Facebook, X, and TikTok. This infographic here outlines the processes and groups involved in creating the content. So really, in a nutshell, Science at First acts as a communications bridge between the needs of Canadians and our tremendous scientific expertise. And we couldn't do this without the support of CASC members, national organizations, and community partners. CASC, through Science at First, is building a robust national communications ecosystem aimed at addressing misinformation. Here are a few examples of the types of content that we create for social media. All of our content is created in English and French, and it's really important to note that we don't translate our English content into French. We create it in French. Content is created, written in a grade 6 reading level, and it is always very visual for maximum accessibility. Initially, when we launched Science at First, we were focused on COVID-19 misinformation. But since we've moved through the pandemic, we are now expanding our content to include broader areas of health, climate action, as well as helping to build misinformation literacy. Through our content, we are providing our audiences with the information they need to really make informed decisions and to help them navigate this increasingly complex information landscape. Science at First is always improving, and we're always trying to find new ways to connect with our audiences. In addition to our online content, we have also created the Coffee at First interview series, and our keynote speaker was a guest on Coffee at First recently. We've hosted online town halls, and we've held in-person speaker panels. But in order to maximize impact and reach, we want to connect with our audiences with the relevant content. Science at First has to and has partnered with a diverse group of collaborators from all across Canada. This includes researchers, national organizations, equity-deserving communities, and of course, our CASC partners. It is truly this ecosystem approach that will have the greatest impact on addressing misinformation and building that misinformation literacy across Canada. Last year, Science at First provided 10 mini-grants to CASC members, and the impact of these 10 mini-grants was amazing. We reached over 1,600 individuals across Canada with place-based engagements. This year, we are providing an additional 12 micro-grants as part of the Together Against Misinformation campaign, and I'll tell you about that a little bit later. Okay. So here is a small summary of all of the work that we have done over the last 3 years. We've created 460 pieces of content that has been viewed over 37 million times. But most importantly, we have had over 1 million engagements with our content. And engagements are comments, likes, and shares. That engagement metric is incredibly important for us because it tells us that individuals are interacting with our content in a truly deep way. And these interactions are more likely to lead to positive change. We also get many comments from people about how they use our content, like this nurse here from Calgary that sends all of her vaccine-hesitant patients to Science at First. So that was just a bit of an overview on the initiative, as well as an update. Excuse me. And as you can see, CASC, through Science at First, has really made big steps in addressing misinformation and harnessing the tremendous reach and expertise of the CASC network and building on that to form a national communications ecosystem. But we're just getting started. This fall, Science at First will be launching the Together Against Misinformation national campaign. The campaign will be held this fall in November, the week of the 12th to the 15th. The aim of the campaign is to start a national dialogue about misinformation, what it is, its impacts, how to spot it, and what you can do about it. We have an incredibly ambitious goal to reach over 5 million Canadians and share tools for navigating a very complex landscape. During the week, we will be diving into all elements of misinformation and using health and climate examples to reach our audiences. We will be partnering with a large and diverse group of collaborators, including CASC members, community organizations, national organizations, research and professional networks, as well as science champions. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we have also supported 12 CASC member organizations with mini grants to create programming for their audiences that will be delivered during this week. Recently, we also launched a community of practice to prepare for the campaign. And in a very short period of time, over 76 organizations have joined. A third of those are CASC members. We're so extremely excited to bring together such a diverse group of knowledgeable and engaged partners. The Community of Practice workshop, the next one, will be held on May 14th. And if you'd like to join and haven't been on the mailing list, please let Marianne, Amanda, or myself know. So in addition to joining the COP, here are a few ways that you can get involved with the campaign. CASC, through Science Up First, will start the campaign. We'll kick it off with 2 panels. We're going to host one in English and one in French. And then we're going to hand the whole week over to our collaborators. And they're going to host events in their communities, share content, resources on social media platforms, and really just get the word out about misinformation. We are encouraging all of our collaborators to join us in any way that they can. And we really hope that each of our CASC members will get involved in the national dialogue. And if you have any questions about the campaign coming up in the fall or anything else about Science Up First, please come find me, Marianne, or the team. Thanks.
All right, I'm closing us out. I think we can all agree, right? The future is bright. There's a lot going on. There's a lot to come. We are super excited about this work, and we hope that all of you are excited as well. You know, the work moving forward, it's not only going to build on the legacy of our initiatives, like the Gen Action or Science Up First initiatives, it's building on the legacy of this community. And I have to give a few shout outs because the legacy is deep, okay? There's a few special anniversaries this year. If you're in the room, I want to hear some shout outs. Science East is celebrating 25 years this year. Science World, 35 years. Our host, Saskatchewan Science Centre, 35 years. Science North, 40 years. This year, this is all this year. Tell Us World of Science Edmonton, 40 years. Toronto Zoo, 50 years. And of course, our oldest science centre in Canada, Ontario Science Centre, 55 years this year. And I have to tell you, next year for CASC, 40 years, 2025. So we have a lot to build on, and we're really excited about it. I'm going to close this up now. I love this enthusiasm. I hope we carry it forward. You know, we're moving into a party later on this evening. Yeah, I have some logistics on that one. Shuttle buses leave at 6 p.m., and there's going to be a few after that. But they're leaving from the Scarth Street Hotel entrance. Basically, if you go out the front door and go around the corner to the right, you'll find the buses. 6 p.m., come out to the party at Saskatchewan Science Centre. We're moving into a coffee break. The sessions are going to start up again at 3 p.m. I just want to give you a heads up of what those sessions are. In this room, we'll have the Ocean Decade Challenge. In the room on this level, the Saskatchewan room, we're going to have partnerships shaping the landscape of STEM education. And then downstairs in the Oak Room, when you go down and around the corner, it's a session for CEOs and executive directors from across the network or their representatives. And that is a 2-hour session, continued kind of workshop that is ongoing that we've been doing with Dr. Malini Goodchild. If you have any questions about any of that, come see us here. Let's keep this conversation going. You could also reach out to any of our staff, which I'm going to ask to stand up because they're awesome. And there's more of them out in the hallway doing the work, right? So come talk to any of us if you have ideas, if this has sparked some thoughts, we would love to hear them. So it's coffee break now, 3 p.m. We'll see you next